hierarchy of human needs. Most important are survival needs. Water is one of these survival needs. Oil is not. Oil may be important, but we must soon do without it. Water is more important. It's the key to future survival, peace, and prosperity. Water is essential for life. Second, the reality of peak oil. Third, we can replace oil, and we will. We are water. Water is the essence of all life processes. Let me explain to you what we mean by peak oil. We are beyond the peak of oil production, and we are on the way down. It costs less to replace oil-based energy than to buy oil. The solutions are fairly simple. We need to double energy efficiency. You should argue with us that water is more important than oil.
I find it highly ironic that we're having a discussion about fossil fuels when we're surrounded by some of the dinosaurs of debate. We will set up a framework for this debate, which should be the deep ecology perspective. Secondly, we would like to look at the effect that this motion would have on developing countries. And third, we will be making a time frame comparison between our arguments and theirs. Nature is viewed as a resource to be consumed by humans, not to prioritize humans over the rest of nature. For the environmental problems that they have pointed out in their speech are inevitable within this framework. It assumes that we can manage the resources that nature provides us. The second argument is that when we look at technology as a solution to these problems, it's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a hemorrhage. What is needed is a change in our mindset, not more technology. That 25,000 birds have died in Iraq since the war began. We only consider the effect on human life.
Cause the death of animals, we would also suggest that it contributes massively to conflicts around the world. You need water to survive. You need it, your cat needs it, your dog needs it, the birds in the stream, the birds and the fish and the rivers and the streams all need water. You can't live on oil, no matter what they say.
Now, I could get up here and make a joke about the government side's style of haircut, their age, their body odor, but now it would be insane for us to argue whether you need to drink water or oil to live. That's not a debate to have unless you're drunk at 3 in the morning. There is a peak oil crisis right now, that there are problems that are going on, that we're losing those resources. Are we using water too fast? The government will come up in here and say yes, but it won't lead to the type of destruction that has never been seen except in a bad apocalyptic movie.
You describe how the planet will die because of oil.
Give me time, JJ, give me time. I have to think that oil is the way that indigenous groups in the Middle East and in Latin America survive. They use oil as political capital. So if oil is less important than water, why will oil consumption lead to water shortages that have never been seen on the face of the planet? It will also lead to mass famine and what is called resource wars. They say that conflicts will occur in all the areas over resources, so every time they talk about water resources, those are only expanded exponentially by the oil crisis. They talk about peak oil and resource oil as if it's something different. They're not mentioning how you should weigh the oil versus the water issues except on a complete truism. They think of the environment as an afterthought. That is the way humans have been thinking about the environment, and that's what's caused the destruction of it. So
I'm also not going to do it as loudly as Jake did. So your eardrums may well survive the next 6 or 7 minutes. Sit down. Yes, Serena, women carry most of the water in Africa. That's true. They don't carry most of the oil. Shell probably does that. Serious problem. Things like malaria are on the increase, waterborne diseases, because we have mismanaged our water, not because we have mismanaged our oil, necessarily. It's not a debate about causality. It's not a debate about whether oil is the problem which leads to the shortage of water. It is a debate about what is more important at this moment in time and what will become increasingly important. Truism. Mr. Speaker, why didn't that come out in the first speech on that side rather than the second? These are all oil-related products. We have poisoned our planet, and we must do something about it. We have a solution to the energy problem. We have told you about alternative energy systems. We are told.
Basically what I call big DA arguments. They say water is good. Fish need water to live. We need clean energy. Oil will run out one day. What is the opposition supposed to say to this? Oh no, fishes need oil to run on themselves. We don't need water. I can drink petroleum tomorrow. That's not the smart opposition way, Mrs. Speaker. What we have tried to do in this debate, we've tried to bring this debate to a higher level. Simple analogy. If my car stops running in the middle of a desert, I won't be looking for a water bottle. I'll be looking for a damn petrol station. Same thing if I'm thirsty, we're actually comparing the water crisis versus the oil crisis, Mrs. Speaker. Between these two, talking about the need to focus on the oil crisis right now, on the idea of oil-based energy. Firstly, Mrs. Speaker, this idea on oil, and it will take years, Mrs. Speaker, for us to change this dependence, for us to wait until actual clean-based energy comes up. And before clean-based energy comes up, before we have energy that is run on water, Mrs. Speaker, we have to deal with the after effects of our source of energies right now, Mrs. Speaker. The resources and the research on water-based energy is not going to come up soon. It's going to take a long time. The first part of my speech, I talked about the fact that there is an oil crisis right now. We've talked about the fact that the problems that we have right now are caused by oil-based energy. But when you understand that resources and attention is finite, where do we base our attention and where do we base our focus? We say it shouldn't be a debate about whether or not water or oil is important, because that is not a debate. We say that we should win this debate just because we tried to create the debate and not create a Greenpeace rally in this house.
How do we prioritize what to focus on first? And they didn't give us any specific dates about the water crisis, and we don't think that that's important. What we think is important is that we outlined how our consumption of oil is causing all of the problems that they are.
There are other reasons and other issues causing the water crisis besides oil. We win the debate. There are multiple solutions already taking place to the oil crisis. At the end of the debate, it's pretty easy to see that their arguments are thinner than Paris Hilton. You would often